Hey guys, we are digging deeper into this latest Deadpool / Sauron wave. I mean, it's 50% Deadpool figures. We're taking a look today at the X-Men Deadpool. So this is Deadpool. He's wearing an X-Men uniform. Yeah, so that's a thing. So he is in the standard Legends box. We've got him there in the bubble in a pretty humorous pose, kicking the Madcap head out of the box. And then on the back of the box, we've got product shots, we've got a lineup, we've got our Build-A-Figure. So let's pull him out and take a look. Alright guys, here he is out of the package, X-Men Deadpool, and after checking out this review, if you're interested in getting one for yourself, please head over onto BigBadToyStore.com, and I will put a link down below so you can get your own. But as far as this figure goes, there is a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Interesting doesn't necessarily mean good. He does come with a few weird accessories. You obviously saw him packaged very uniquely in the box, but this figure is, I mean, it's not possible really, but he is basically 110% reuse. There is nothing new in terms of this base figure, and when we get to sculpt and everything, I'll tell you what comes from where as best I can figure it out. But we will of course start with articulation and see how he moves around. And he is on one of these more recent bodies, the one with the butterfly joints, so I've already been won over slightly there. This is the same body that we saw with the recent 90s Deadpool, you know, Bullseye and Sunfire, that kind of body. And in general, I think it's okay, but I do think it makes this particular head look a little big, because this body is slightly smaller in some ways. But as far as the head goes, you can go left and right, up and down, no real side to side, but he has full range of motion there. Arms can go out, they can go all the way around. We do, of course, have our butterfly joint, so you can go forwards and backwards there. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, better than 90. We have got a hinge and a rotation at the wrist. Crunch can go back, but these swords are going to try to bend with it, so be careful there. And forward, he can go all the way over. Waist twist, pretty tight still. Legs don't really go out very far though, if at all, really. They kick forward, they kick backwards. Thigh cut, double jointed knee, works pretty well. We do, of course, have a boot cut there. And then we've got a ankle hinge, which has pretty wide range of motion, and then, of course, a rocker. So, yeah, he moves about as well as you might expect him to move. If you are familiar with this body, you know what you're getting. So, in terms of the overall look on this figure, I think it's okay. You know, he looks okay. This is still kind of a weird look, mostly because of the fact that he's still, in this look, he kept his normal mask. So, you know, it's just kind of off-putting to me. It's not a bad look, but it's just not very engaging. He has a very classic X-Men style suit on. Of course, it says X-Men on his suit, which is actually painted pretty well. It's on there very nicely, very cleanly. But I just don't think his head looks right on this body. I think, for one, this particular head looks a little large on this body, and just the color difference is quite striking. You go from this very, very bright, vibrant red head down to a yellow, and it's not black, but it's really, 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 really navy blue. It's almost black. It's probably a blue-black in some way. And then you've got these kind of red accents. He's got red under his belt, and then he's also got red on the wrists. In general, paint's fine. I don't have any true issues there. I mean, the one thing that I thought was going to get jacked up was the X-Men logo there, and it's pretty clean, so I don't have any problems with that. And like I said, I do really, really like this body. I think it's sculpted well, and it fits, for the most part, it fits the characters that they picked for it. I do, in some ways, kind of dislike some of it because I don't like this particular boot cut. I think, you know, it looks really, really weird when you move those legs. And then I think the feet look kind of odd in some ways. It's kind of too angular to me. But in general, I like this body, and I'm a sucker for the butterfly joints, so I appreciate that when they put it on these more agile characters. Now, like I said, this guy is mega hyper reuse. There is just nothing new about him. So we've seen this head before, the original Deadpool figure that we got in the Juggernaut wave. We've got this gun. We've seen this with Deadpool figures. This is the same body that we saw on 90s Deadpool. We saw that well on Sunfire, on other figures. These are the swords that came with Deadpool. This is the harness that came with Deadpool. This is the belt that comes with X-Force Deadpool. These are the straps on the ankles and the wrists that come with Cyclops, for example. So, you know, other figures have used some of this stuff as well, but there's nothing new about this figure. He is 100% parts reuse outside of his other accessories. Now, in terms of these accessories, they're okay. I don't really care for this gun. I don't use it on my other Deadpools. It has no paint on it. It's just kind of it mimics the color of his suit, but it's kind of shiny. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. It's an okay futuristic type gun, but, you know, that's kind of the short and long of it. And then we do have his katanas here. and we've seen these before. Nothing crazy, nothing special. They work really well. I usually pose Deadpool with swords just because that's my preference, so I'm glad they included them. I honestly didn't even think about the fact that he had them until I pulled him out of the box, so you can't really see him too well. So yeah, he looks okay, but he is still kind of weird looking at the same time, and again, you know, nothing new. The other accessories that he does come with, though, are slightly more unique, and they are somewhat fitting. I mean, they definitely make sense in the lore of Deadpool, but they're just kind of weird. So we get this Madcap Hat and Head, and honestly, seeing this makes me want a Exiles morph figure. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's very, very close. Not necessarily in the color, but the expression. Make this head white, you've got a morph head from Exiles, so that's neither here nor there. The suit, of course, makes me think of regular morph. So maybe, one day, hopefully, we'll see. But we've got a pretty well sculpted and painted head. I mean, it's very expressive. It's got, you know, that kind of crazy look to it. Teeth are painted well. Eyes are painted well, and just the overall expression's nice. And then you've kind of got the, like, you know, pimp style hat here, which sits on his head just fine. The swords kind of get in the way, but you could put this on another body as well. I am going to be in the camp of people who have zero interest in actually using this, though. I don't have any appreciation for Madcap. I don't care about it at all. So your mileage may vary on this. I do think it looks okay, and it certainly fits the part. But honestly, I don't really understand why it was packed in with this figure. I don't think it's needed. Not that it doesn't make sense. It definitely makes sense in the grand scheme of things. I just don't think anybody was really asking for this, especially because you don't really have the rest of Madcap to go with it, because he had a pretty unique look, sort of. So yeah, overall this figure is okay, passable, but probably really forgettable for a lot of people. I expect this guy to be warming pegs eventually, because he's in just kind of a generic costume, and he's got what looks like a mismatched head on his shoulders. Sure, there's nothing wrong with this body. It's painted well, it's sculpted well, but again, he's all reuse. He has a few interesting accessories, and he is packaged well, but I don't really think anybody out there was clamoring for Madcap accessories. I know I wasn't, so, you know, my main focus for this figure was unfortunately the Build-A-Figure piece. But yeah, this figure is nothing crazy, nothing special. Certainly not poorly executed, but just not interesting. And it just furthers the Deadpool fatigue. So that is going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends X-Men Deadpool from Hasbro. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time, guys.